So let's dive into the process of registering a company in the UAE from Australia. The whole guide breaks down why the UAE is such an attractive destination for Aussie entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. Right. It's really fascinating how the UAE offers tax advantages and major market access across Asia, Africa, and even Europe, isn't it?
Exactly. The UAE practically stands as a global gateway, thanks to a prime location and world-class infrastructure. Think Dubai International Airport and Jebel Ali Port.
Yep. And I guess it's not just about the location. The tax benefits are a major draw too, right? Low corporate tax rates and even zero tax zones sound pretty appealing.
Right. For instance, free zones offer 0% tax for qualifying activities and the freedom of 100% foreign ownership. It's kind of like having your cake and eating it too.
No doubt. But there's a bit of a twist, isn't there? Not all business types allow for full foreign ownership, especially on the mainland, where sometimes a local sponsor is still required.
True, true. But even there, recent reforms are progressively allowing full ownership in many sectors. It really boils down to what business model you're pursuing, whether it's a mainland, free zone, or offshore company.
Like the choice between a gourmet meal and a fast food option, right? Exactly, each with their own flavors. Let's talk about those structures. What's the difference between them?
So, mainland companies let you operate throughout the UAE, including government contracts, but they might need a local partner in certain cases. Free zone companies, on the other hand, give you complete foreign ownership and a slew of tax exemptions, ideal for export or e-commerce sectors. And then you have offshore companies, which are mainly for international trading and asset management.
That sums it up nicely. I was reading that the guide even offers a handy comparison chart. It highlights, for example, that free zones and offshore setups both offer 100% foreign ownership, but only the mainland gives you full access to the domestic market.
Exactly. And there's more. The step-by-step process is quite methodical. It starts with defining your business activity, which is critical because it determines the type of license and the jurisdiction you'll be working with.
Right, like you need to know what you're cooking before you start the recipe. Yes, and then you have to choose the right structure based on your market goals, whether you need a physical office or you're eyeing streamlined digital processes also comes into play.
Absolutely. After that, the guide stresses the importance of choosing a unique company name that fits the UAE strict naming conventions. You can't really use names that might be offensive or have religious or political connotations.
Got it. And once the name is sorted, the documentation phase kicks in, right? Passport copies, business plans, proof of residence in Australia, the whole 9 yards.
Yes, with the added twist that these documents might need attestation by the UAE consulate and even certified translations into Arabic.
That sounds like a real attention to detail process. Then comes the initial approval stage, and they mention that depending on the setup, mainland or free zone, you might be dealing with different authorities. It's almost like navigating two separate bureaucratic systems.
True. For example, mainland companies have to apply to the Department of Economic Development, which checks if you're fully compliant with UAE regulations.
That makes sense. And for free zones, each free zone has its own set of requirements, right? Like DMCC, JAFZA, or IFZA. Each offers certain sector-specific advantages.
Right, so if you're in tech, trading, or media, selecting the right free zone could be a game changer. And then there's the draft process for the Memorandum of Association for mainland
Yes,
businesses.
exactly. But isn't the Memorandum of Association a bit like setting the ground rules for your business partnership? It outlines shareholding and responsibilities, correct?
Exactly. It's like the blueprint of your business, ensuring everything is clear and compliant. Then, once those legal documents are in order, you apply for your business license, which could be commercial, professional, or industrial, depending on your activity.
That sounds like a critical step. And after securing the license, what's next? Opening a UAE bank account, right?
Yes, exactly. Opening a corporate bank account is crucial. You need all those documents handy: registration certificate, trade license, passport copies, and proof of address. Some banks might even have a high minimum deposit
Right,
requirement.
that could definitely be a sticking point for some startups. Absolutely, especially when you're trying to manage costs. Speaking of costs, the guide gives a detailed breakdown of registration costs for free zones versus mainland setups.
It does indeed. For free zones, you're looking at license fees between 10,000 to 25,000 AED and additional registration fees, whereas mainland setups can be a bit pricier because of office lease and sponsor fees.
Kind of like paying a premium for access to local markets. And then there are visa processes. The guide outlines that once everything's set up, you can also apply for a UAE residence visa, which is a big plus if you plan to relocate. That involves medical tests, Emirates ID registration, and so on, correct?
Yes, that's right. And if you're an investor or partner, you can even sponsor family visas afterwards. It really encapsulates the holistic opportunity of moving your operations here.
That's a strong incentive. Now, I do have a point where I respectfully question one thing. While the guide paints a promising picture, it seems to understate the complexities Australians might face with cultural and legal differences in the UAE. Would you agree?
That's a fair point. The guide acknowledges challenges like navigating different business etiquettes and rigorous banking processes, and it strongly recommends engaging local consultants to bridge these gaps.
Exactly. So the role of business setup consultants becomes paramount during this process.
Absolutely. Firms like BizInvestFirm are highlighted because they can streamline everything, from documentation and licensing to visa applications and even opening bank accounts. It's like having a specialized guide who knows every twist and turn.
Yep, that clarity can save a lot of time and stress, and they really help mitigate the risks of missteps, ensuring compliance with UAE laws, right?
Exactly. With a legal advisor on board, you're less likely to hit any regulatory snags, and that's crucial when dealing with international business law.
Definitely. The guide also talks about the sheer speed of the process. It mentions how registration can take anywhere from 5 to 30 days, which is quite fast compared to some other jurisdictions. Is that typical?
For the UAE, yes. Free zones in particular offer expedited processes. Even mainland setups can be relatively quick if you have all your documentation ready.
Right, that quick turnaround is a major selling point. So, in essence, Australian entrepreneurs have the opportunity not only to benefit from favorable tax regimes, but to tap into a vast market, over 2 billion consumers, according to the guide. That's monumental.
Exactly. The UAE offers unmatched strategic advantages, from tax savings to market access. And while there are challenges, with proper planning and expert guidance, the benefits far outweigh the hurdles.
I couldn't agree more. It seems like a very dynamic opportunity if you're looking to expand globally, especially for sectors like tech, e-commerce, or international trade.
Absolutely. And for many Australians looking to diversify revenue streams and enter a more dynamic market, the UAE represents a really enticing prospect.
Yep, exactly. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the process. It looks like, with the right planning and local help, setting up a business in the UAE from Australia is much more accessible than many would think.
Right. It's all about understanding the steps, making informed choices on company structure, and leveraging local expertise. So, if you're from down under and eyeing the UAE, just remember, plan meticulously, and the opportunities are
Indeed.
vast.
Thanks for the insightful breakdown. This conversation truly highlights how a clear roadmap and expert support can really make international business dreams a reality.
Absolutely, and with all these benefits and structured steps laid out in the guide, it's an opportunity too good to pass up. Hope our listeners find this as enlightening as I did.
Yep, here's to new ventures and global success.